Hey little Jimmy, what's your favorite historical empire? I bet you're just gonna use whatever I say as a setup for one of your stupid jokes. Isn't that right? Uh... Hello and welcome back to another EDM Mosh Pit vlog. If you would like to see more history content like this, please consider subscribing. Today, we're going to be looking at 3 empires that I feel are criminally underrated. Now, on to the video. The first underappreciated historical gem we'll talk about is the Byzantine Empire. At its greatest extent, the empire looked like this, which is pretty impressive considering it usually gets like a page in a history book. The name Byzantine comes from the old name of their capital city, Constantinople, which is totally stupid. It's like calling China the Peking Empire or the US Dirty Swamp. Truth is, the Byzantines were actually just a neglected stepchild of the Roman Empire. They work just as hard for little return, they're frequently forgotten by their parents' friends, and they received help from talking mice when they weren't invited to the wait, nope, that's Cinderella. The reason I say they're underrated isn't because I'm some crazy Greek nationalist, but because the Byzantines are really the physical embodiment of taking one for the team. They spent most of their history fighting off successive Islamic invasions, and Europe thanked them by sacking their capital. Imagine it like this. Wow, Kayla, thanks so much for having my back today. I feel like we really bonded. Also, I want to stab you and take all of your money. Aww, that's so sweet of you, Wait, what? Anywho, I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time on the Byzantines because I made a whole series on them that you can find here. But, overall, I'd rate them a solid 14 out of 53. Next on the list, the Persian or Achaemenid Empire is now mostly known as the bad guy in the movie 300, and even though I like an emo god king getting his ears sliced off just as much as the next guy, I'm here to tell you that the Persians were actually pretty cool. For starters, Persian governmental policy can pretty much be summed up as, pay your taxes and we won't slaughter your loved ones in front of you, which sounds pretty bad today, but actually was a pretty good deal back in 500 BC. The Persians also inspired a lot of the Eastern Greek empires and the Romans when it came to governmental chillness and provided a groundwork for Alexander's conquest, which is cool for us but kinda inconvenient for them. The Persian culture also had a very strong emphasis on telling the truth. When archaeologists dug up a stone tablet that named a bunch of random Persian laborers, like half of them were named Arashir the Truth Giver or something. Imagine if people were so obsessed with telling the truth today. Yep, I sure did steal all those diamonds. You know, I'm really glad that we both value honesty and justice. Me too. I am really looking forward to my life in prison. Wait, that was a lie. Oh yeah, okay, alright, away you go. Also, shout out to Cyrus the Great for just being an all-around gent. He was actually the one who let the Jews leave Babylon and go back to Israel, so he's probably the most hyped-up non-Jewish mortal in the Bible. He even helped the Jews build their second temple in Jerusalem, which is exactly the opposite of what most people back then would do. And let's not forget, the Persian Empire was really big and had a ton of people in it, so they were able to crank out 200,000-man armies like I crank out stupid analogies. Speaking of stupid analogies, you know bread? Me too. Boom! Persian Empire. Why? That's not for me to tell you, it's for you to discover. Next up, we got the Ethiopian Empire under the Ptolemaic dynasty. Now these guys were some tough cookies. This single dynasty lasted like 700 years, which is pretty much unheard of in history. The Ethiopian Empire started when this guy named Yakunyo Amlak decided that he was sick of being ruled by lame kings that couldn't even trace their roots back to ancient Israel, so he overthrew them in 1260 and started himself a nice little dynasty. Now at this time, the Europeans had a funny little idea that there was some dude named Prester John chilling in Africa just waiting to link up with them and crush Islam from the south. The Europeans were obviously super wrong. I mean, for one, people don't live forever, so even if there was some guy in Ethiopia named Prester John, people back then would live to like 35 and then die from dysentery, so he wouldn't be around forever. In fact, when an Ethiopian emissary visited Europe, they were like, "Here's a letter from our emperor." You mean Prester John? No, that's actually not his name. Okay, you're clearly not getting this, so, I need you to tell Prester John that I would like him to invade Egypt. The funny part is that this actually happened. Speaking of funny, the Italian military. When Italy tried to conquer Ethiopia in 1895, Ethiopia handily defeated them and were able to get all the European powers to recognize their borders, which looked like this. Sadly, this is the only Ethiopian accomplishment that a lot of people know about. Alright class, I'd like you to tell everyone one thing about yourself. I play football. I like to read. Liberia and I were the only African nations to keep our independence. Kind of a weird flex, but, okay. And there you have it, 3 empires that need some more love. Hey, Connor, I need some more love. No, you don't.